Welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast, where I, Selena Knight, share strategies, interview retail revolutionaries, and delve into the minds of e-commerce experts to help you grow a profitable, independent retail or e-commerce business. If you're stuck in a rut, or if you feel like business is way harder than it should be, or you've overachieved all of the things that you've set out to and are wondering what to do next, or how do I even make this better? I know that you're going to love today's episode. Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Happy New Year and happy birthday to me. Yes, it is my birthday today, and here I am recording a podcast. Now, I wouldn't normally work on my birthday, but I've been thinking about what should I talk about in the first episode for 2022. I mean, so much has gone on in the last couple of years, and I think we are all hoping that 2022 is fresh new ideas, fresh people, fresh places to go, fresh things to think, fresh things to do. Maybe that's my word for 2022. I hadn't really thought about it, but maybe it's fresh. So I jotted down a few ideas of what I would talk about in this podcast. And if you have been listening for a while, you'll probably notice that, or maybe you haven't noticed, but we actually each week for our social media and for our podcast, we work on one of the 5 pillars of retail success. So money, sales, customers, marketing, and impact, which is great because it helps us formulate a cohesive content calendar. It means we know the kinds of guests we want to interview for the podcast for specific weeks. It means when we go to plan out our social media, we know the topics that we want to talk about. It just makes life easier. So first up for 2022 is the money pillar. So as I said, I jotted down a whole bunch of ideas, and then I was cleaning off my desk yesterday and I saw this freebie download that I had downloaded from Jasmine Star. Now, I don't know if you follow Jasmine Star. She's an amazing photographer, but she also teaches people how to post really great visual and engaging content on social media. And I saw her at a conference, well, I was going to say a couple of years ago, but realistically, there was no last couple of years. So it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And she was up and coming back then, super successful. And I just remember the conversations that she was having on stage, they were fresh. There's that word again. And so I've been following her for ages. But hey, if you follow me, you know I put a lot of energy into the podcast, but I'm not so great at social media. I mean, I have been around since the inception of Facebook. I was one of the first businesses on Facebook back in 2008. And all these years later, I've just been burnt out by the whole thing. Like the whole concept of chronicling what I do every single day, multiple times a day across multiple platforms, it is just exhausting. But I'm not an idiot. I know that in this day and age, you need to have a social presence. Now, whether you choose to do that on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever the latest platform is, that's totally up to you. And at the end of last year, I made a concerted effort to put a bit more time into LinkedIn. I wasn't posting every day, but I posted 2 or 3 long posts or short posts or quite opinionated posts onto LinkedIn and started getting quite a lot of engagement with my peers. And so going into the Christmas break, I thought, you know what? It is time for you to meet this thing head on. Like you have been avoiding social media for the last couple of years. Well, not avoiding it, just not putting the effort in. Tried outsourcing it. And realistically, you can outsource something if you've got a great plan. Like you have to have an amazing vision. You have to know exactly what you want that person to achieve for you or that agency to achieve for you, because you can't just abdicate all responsibility in your business. And I was kind of hoping that if I just gave the job to somebody else, that they would do something fantastic. But I hadn't done a very good job of explaining or detailing the kinds of content I wanted or the kinds of engagement. Realistically, I just stuck my head in the sand, right? And we all know that doesn't work. So in that time off over Christmas, just before Christmas actually, I started downloading some freebies. I started really paying attention to what some social media people who were, what we consider successful to be doing. And one of these things I downloaded was, let me just pull it out here. What's it called? It's called your 7-Day Content Planner. It's literally sitting here on my desk in front of my microphone. And so I did all the right things. I did my research. I found this download, which lots of people had commented on and said it was great. It was free. I put my email in. I even went to the effort of printing out the PDF. It's like 6 or 7 pages, printing out the PDF, stapling it together, getting my highlighters out. I skimmed the document, and then I went and spent the next 3 hours bookmarking Instagram posts by probably half a dozen different women entrepreneurs that I follow. And so I was really pumped up. I was like, yep, those whole reel things, they're a little bit awkward and uncomfortable, but hey, I like to dance and I don't mind getting in front of a camera. It's not my worst phobia. I'm sure I can do this. It'll be a little bit awkward at the beginning, but hey, I'm sure I can do this. So by the end of the day, I felt pretty confident that I had this Instagram thing in the bag. I had my freebie download. I had all these videos bookmarked. This was going to be so easy. Next day, and remember, guys, I was actually on holidays, or I still am on holidays, when I was doing all of this. So I wasn't putting a lot of effort in. I was just doing this in between everything else. You're kind of watching the Christmas movie on TV and you've got your laptop on your lap, and I was flicking through, or I've got your phone on your lap, flicking through, bookmarking things on Instagram. So the next day, I was like, yes, I am going to do this. And spent the next 2 hours, guess what? Bookmarking things on Instagram, which of course led me down the rabbit hole because I had no idea how to edit a reel. Like how did you do the transitions? How do you do the stickers? How do you make the text stick at different things? So then I spent the next couple of hours watching tutorials on how to edit reels. I consider myself pretty tech literate. So by the end of the day, I was pretty confident I had this Instagram thing in the bag. I had my freebie download. I'd bookmark a gazillion different posts. I knew kind of roughly, I knew the concept of how to edit a reel, even though I hadn't even made one. When it came to Instagram, I was going to be golden. I had everything I needed. A couple of days went past and I again spent a little bit more time on Instagram, bookmarking a few things. And it kind of hit me I hadn't really done anything. Like I'd done a lot of researching, but I hadn't taken any action. So it was time to change, right? So I printed out a calendar for 2022. And realistically, I like to do these things on paper first. Even though we use a project management system, I like to have a pencil and an eraser and calendars. And I just, write things down when I think about them. I can erase them. I can move them around. Printed out my pieces of paper for the first quarter of 2022 and started to write ideas down on what I could post on Instagram. So it took me about 2 days. Remember, I am still on holidays, okay? So I was just doing a little bit here, a little bit there. As ideas came to me, I would write them down. It took me about 2 days, but I actually wrote an idea or a piece of content that we could put on social media for the first 30 days of the year. So now I was really set up for success. I had the content planned out. I had bookmarked a whole bunch of inspiration style posts. I had my freebie download that was going to tell me how to do it. And I watched all these tutorials on how to optimize reels, how to do transitions, all the things. Instagram, here I come. So the next day, I'm like, okay, it is time to get this party started. Pulled out the camera, pulled out the tripod, got just about every outfit that I own, and discovered I really do not have an extensive enough wardrobe to be doing Instagram reels. So what did I do? I decided it was time to whip out the laptop and do a little bit of online shopping. I mean, if I'm going to nail this Instagram thing, I got to make sure I look good, right? Because that's what Instagram is all about. Only problem was, even though it was Boxing Day sales, there wasn't an awful lot online. So I had to go and grab my mask, head off down to the local mall and do a little bit of retail therapy. I spent a few hours shuffling around the mall. I don't know if I've actually told you guys this, but I really don't like shopping. It's hilarious, right? I really don't like clothes shopping because these days I am so fussy about what I buy. I've done my Style Power course with Alma Barrera. I know the colors that I like to wear. I know the style of clothes that fits. And so I can just walk into a shop and I either can see it or I can't. If it's not there, if it's not in my color palette, I just walk out. And the colors that I wear never seem to be in style. Anyway, I spent a few hours shuffling around the mall, being completely dejected about the fact that there was nothing that I liked. Came home, guess what? No Instagram Reels for sale. I don't know what day we're up to, maybe by about day 6 or day 7, because this has been going on for a couple of weeks. But I decided enough was enough. I had to actually get some Instagram Reels done. So I pulled out the clothes that I used for a photo shoot the other day and was like, this is it. It doesn't matter. Just do the damn thing, Sal. And started to make some Reels. I mean, those things are freaking awkward, right? I had to find the music. I had to work on transitions, and I generally sucked at it so bad that I had to sit back down behind my desk and start looking through. That's not a good English word, is it? I had to start going through all those bookmarked posts to get some more inspiration. I was like, worst case scenario, I'll use my own content, but I'll kind of use the transitions and the style of the Reels to make my own. I had my own content, so it's not like I was ripping anybody off. I was just using them as inspiration. So sat down and spent a good hour, 90 minutes going back through all those Instagram Reels that I've bookmarked. After lunch, I was like, this is it. Have to go and record something. Like, you've been doing this for a week, Sal. You need to get something in that camera so that you can start using it for the new year. But of course, my office was messy. One of the things I've been doing is that annual spring clean. There was stuff everywhere. So I decided to go upstairs because, hey, all these other people I've been watching, they're doing it in their lounge rooms and in their kitchens and all kinds of things. So I decided to go upstairs and try a couple of Reels up there. Got my coffee mug out, I had my laptop, I had all these, I literally had like a run sheet of what I needed to do. I was prepared, right? I had done all the preparation I needed. Walk into the kitchen, get my mug out, start doing my little boppy dance. If I had a video on, you could see me doing the little boppy dance in my chair right now. And my husband and my daughter start laughing at me. Not only did they start laughing at me, then my 13-year-old starts to critique all of the music choices inside of Instagram. Mum, that's not trending. 2015 called and it wants its song back. Honestly, the ridicule was so bad. I just threw in the towel. I actually got angry at them. I was like, do you know how hard this is for me in the first place? Like, I feel like an idiot and now you're sitting there laughing at me. I was so upset about the whole thing. Packed up the camera, put it back downstairs and was like, bugger this. I am just going, if I go to the effort of recording these things, I'm just going to do them in my office. But of course, my office was a mess. So I had to clean up my office first. So I spent the rest of the day cleaning up my office. Now, I don't know about you, but when I start doing that cleaning and organizing Marie Kondo thing, you discover you have no storage. And in my effort to clean off my desk, I decided last year I was going to be paper free. So I bought myself a new iPad and I got the pencil and I got the paper screen protector and I haven't actually started using it. But yeah, that's okay because this was going to be my inspiration to start using it. I got a new wireless charging station for Christmas, so that's freed up all the cables. I just had all this stuff on my desk. And of course, if I'm going to take the stuff off the desk and put it into a drawer, I need a drawer organizer. So cue the trip back to the mall to buy myself some cute desk organization stuff. Now, let me remind you, at this point, a week or so has gone past and I still have no Instagram content. I have a social media calendar that is fully planned out for the whole of January. I have my phone and the tripod and the microphone if I need it all set up. I've got my freebie download that tells me exactly how to schedule out the content, the type of content that I can use and inspiration. I've got my 100 or so bookmarked videos, and I've read all the tutorials on how to edit my reels. I even have an almost clean office. But what I don't have is any content. Now, do you ever get to the point where you get sick of yourself? Like sometimes if I whinge about something often enough, I'm like, oh my God, will you just stop whinging because I'm sick of hearing myself talking about it. At this point, I've realized that I have done all the things, but not actually taken any action. I mean, I'd even gone to the point of putting out freelance jobs, looking for video editors for Reels. Like I had all the things lined up for amazing content. And all of a sudden, as I put my new drawer organizers on my desk and started loading things into them, meanwhile, I was whinging to myself in my head about how freaking difficult it was to make Instagram content. That it hit me that what I was really doing was procrastinating. We have a saying inside of Scale Your Store, which is stop learning, start earning. And all that means is stop doing all the things and actually put the stuff that you've either downloaded or heard in a podcast or that you've learned from the courses that you've bought and actually put them into action. I mean, it's literally staring me in the face. I have this pretty awesome 7-day content planner that tells me how to work out what to post and even gives me some ideas on the kinds of captions that I could write. Had I done anything with it? Well, I'd printed it out and stapled it and stuck it on my desk with some highlighters and a pen, but I hadn't actually done the work. And this, my friends, is the difference between when you go to a sales page and you see all these amazing testimonials. This is the difference between that person and you, is they downloaded the stuff, they took action, filled out the workbooks or the action plans, and then they implemented what they've learned. It's not that they had more money or they got access to different information than you. They just decided to take focused, specific action. Not being busy for the sake of being busy, not watching tutorials and putting out jobs for freelancers. They just went in, and it didn't matter if it was a little bit messy. It didn't matter if it wasn't perfect, because done is better than perfect. They put what they'd learned into practice. Now, here's the thing when it comes to courses or downloads or action plans or the crowdsourcing of answers that you've gotten from Facebook groups. It's not actually helping you. First of all, it's facilitating the procrastination. But what it's really doing is hurting you. And it's hurting you in a big way, because the more answers that you get, the more it chips away at your confidence to make decisions. And you already know that if you want to be in control of your business, in control of your life, you have to be confident in the decisions that you make. So you have to stop using excuses. You have to stop using procrastination, because they take that control away from you. And if you are not in control, I can tell you, you have no confidence in the decisions that you make. And look, confidence costs nothing, but it changes everything. So can you see how all of that researching, all of that faffing about, all of that bookmarking, all those downloads, even going so far as putting out the job ad for the video editor, on the surface, they look like I'm taking action, but what they really were was just busy work to make me feel like I was doing something, to make me feel like I was moving forward. But I hadn't moved forward at all. I had nothing at the end of the day. At the end of a week, I still had an empty phone with nothing in it to post on Instagram. See, guys, even I'm not perfect when it comes to this stuff. Sometimes I have to give my own self a slap across the back of the head. But it was at that point that I realized that I just had to stop. I had to actually stop procrastinating and start taking that focused, specific action. I had to stop learning and start earning. And so I did. I made some reels. And if you follow me on Instagram, the last couple of days I've put reels up and I look a lot awkward, but they're there. And hey, my first one got 4,000 views. I'm not unhappy about that. I have no idea how that compares to other people. But hey, it's a good start, right? I know one of the things that I have to do next is to build out KPIs so that I do have an idea of what works and what doesn't. But instead of using mapping out KPIs and doing more research around that as an excuse, instead I decided to stop learning, start earning, to take that messy, imperfect action. Because at the end of the day, done is better than perfect. I have nothing to measure if I don't actually put that first reel out there. I can have the best set of KPIs, but if I'm not actually doing the thing, well, it's all just a waste of time, right? And so I wanted to share this story on today's episode of the podcast, being that you're probably like me. 2022 will be the year that New Year's, we always make new decisions and new goals, and we put all these big ideas and big dreams out there. But if we don't take that first step, if we don't actually take the focus-specific action, if we keep learning instead of earning, all we're going to do is chip away at that confidence to make decisions. So I want you to head over to Instagram and look me up, the Selena Knight, and you can laugh all you want at my reels. I am totally okay with that because, hey, it's going to put my views up, right? But you can keep following me to see this messy, imperfect action. You can see that I won't always get it right. You can see that I'll probably make a lot of mistakes. And I'll happily come back in 3 or 6 months' time and tell you about all the mistakes that I made and what worked and what didn't. But what I really want you to do today is to take some kind of messy, imperfect action. Because I can almost guarantee you that if you don't hit your goals for this year, it's because you didn't take that messy, imperfect action. You didn't do the done is better than perfect. You spent a lot of time learning and not enough time earning. And what I really want for you at the end of 2022 as you go into 2023 is for you to be happy and confident and in control of your business. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this podcast there because, hey, it is my birthday and I'm about to head down to the beach house for a week in the sun, relaxing, maybe drinking a few cocktails, and guess what? I'm even taking my camera, tripod, and microphone to record a few Instagram reels because the house down there is way cleaner and a whole bunch less messier than my office. And so I won't have any excuses, right? Okay, so your call to action for this episode is to, if you aren't already, follow me on Instagram at the Selena Knight, and I want you to comment on this post. So I am going to do a reel for this video. I want you to comment with the messy, imperfect action that you are going to take so that you can hit your goals for 2022. Alrighty, I will see you back here, same time, same place next week. You guys have a fantastic start to 2022, and I cannot wait to see what this year brings for you. Bye. So, what did you think? Is that a strategy that you are currently using? Inside of the marketing pillar in Scale Your Store, we don't talk about what the latest Instagram strategy is because it's not about trying to cheat the algorithms. What it's about is understanding what we call customer leverage points. What is the thing that's going to make someone buy from you? And then using that to build out your marketing campaigns. That's just one of the things that we talk about. You also uncover things like how to build out a high converting marketing plan, how to work out what your KPIs should be, how to work out how much you should even be spending on your marketing. All of those things are going to set you up for success, not set you up for failure. So if you're ready to head into 2022 with a bang and scale your store, head over to scaleyourstore.com and check out the full program. I will see you back here next week for the last episode of 2021. Bye.